It was thus a considerable surprise to Jackson when, after Roosevelt had won the presidency in the 1932 election and moved to Washington, two of the cadre of lawyers who accompanied Roosevelt offered Jackson a position at the Bureau of Internal Revenue in the Treasury Department, arguing tax cases, an area Jackson had not concentrated on in his Jamestown practice. Jackson was so ambivalent about the prospect of moving to Washington and becoming affiliated with the Roosevelt administration that he originally agreed to accept the position only if he could do so on a part-time basis, retaining his Jamestown law practice. Yet, within a few short years, Jackson had become an integral figure in the administration, litigating several key cases before the Supreme Court and serving first as Solicitor General and then as Attorney General of the United States. Starting in 1938, he was on Roosevelt's shortlist of potential appointees to the Supreme Court, eventually being appointed in July 1941. His rise from internal revenue through the Justice Department to the court was meteoric. When he was named an Associate Justice, he had just turned 50. Supreme Court Justice was not, however, the last position Jackson held, nor the one he thought the most satisfying or consequential. He found being Solicitor General the most satisfying, and he found his work as the chief American prosecutor of Nazi war criminals at the Nuremberg trials of 1945 and 1946 the most consequential. Although he abundantly possessed the skills to be a Supreme Court justice, his ability to analyze legal issues and to craft opinions was extraordinary. He was less suited to being on a court that made decisions collectively. Jackson was not as fulfilled on the court as one might have expected, and exploring why will be a central inquiry of this book. Jackson's personality was complex and layered, making it difficult to fathom. He was a devoted father and affectionate husband, yet several who worked closely with him assumed that he carried on a long-term affair with his secretary, Elsie Douglas. When, in October 1954, he died of a heart attack in Elsie Douglas's apartment, his closest colleague on the Supreme Court, Felix Frankfurter, tried to cover up the location of his death for fear it could create a scandal.